Good morning, folks. This is Mike James Oman, aka Sirius Black, and my buddy Edgy Poe Black is with me today, as always. And what we're celebrating right now is that you notice my Washington hat up there, and actually, if you look at it, it's got camouflage for its W, which is because I'm a veteran teacher and watcher of movies about the Vietnam War and everything from back in the day then. And actually, I dodged that bullet because Richard Nixon, Tricky Dick Nixon, ended the draft because it was such a fiasco, that war. And I didn't get drafted. And see, the whole thing is, it's different being in the Army or the Navy or the Air Force when you're drafted than it is when you volunteer for doing such a thing. But, I mean, I guess that's obvious. But anyway, we're 50 years into the assassinations of Martin Luther King was in April. This is June 1st, no, June 2nd today. And June 6th is the 50th anniversary of Robert Kennedy's assassination by a young Palestinian dishwasher, Sirhan. It's interesting that if you think about it, Sirhan Solo, Sirhan was the guy the Palestinian that, assassinated Bobby Kennedy. Sirhan Solo, buddy, that's who it was. Pretty strange. But anyway, what we're here to talk about is several things. One is let's hang in there and not get too evil with each other. The thing is, there's a war within each of us, and Carl Jung knew that and explained it to us. And actually, Jordan Peterson, my buddy from Canada, explained it to me, so I understand it now, which is really cool. But what I am is the product of a Jesuit education. Jesuits are a certain order of priests, and they're a teaching order, and they were started by St. Francis Xavier, who was a missionary to Japan and Borneo, of all places. He went to Borneo. And this is back in the 1500s, so it was like before the King James Bible and everything. So he started the Jesuits, and they're a teaching order, and they have to go through 13 years of training to teach the right way. And they teach, they call it in loco parentis, which is Latin for in place of the parent. Now, I've done that. I was taught by Jesuits, high school and college, all boys school. It was a football factory. It was boot camp, man. I'll tell you, they were tough. But anyway, I didn't need the Army after that. And then I went into what I went into at Holy Cross College in Worcester, Massachusetts, close to where the Kennedys are from. And we were competing with Boston College, BC, it's known as. And you know what's weird about it? Let me tell you this. I'll just tell you this, and then we'll go on to something else tomorrow. But when I was at Holy Cross my first year, everybody was trained by Jesuits. It was a Jesuit university, just like Georgetown. And I had gone to Georgetown Preparatory School because I'm a Washington native, Washington, that's what we called it, Washington. That was the way Washington natives pronounced the word. And so anyway, Georgetown is a small town in the middle of D.C., the District of Columbia. Technically, Washington is not a city, it is a district, and it is not a part of any state. And it is taxed without representation, which is weird. But anyway, it doesn't have a senator, doesn't have anybody in the you know House of Representatives or the Senate. But of course, it's got the White House, and it's got the Capitol, and it's got the Lincoln Memorial. I love the Lincoln Memorial. I also love the Jefferson Memorial. That's very nice. And I actually met my wife, who's the mother of my children, playing slow pitch softball on the monument grounds, the Washington Monument. That's the best one of all. But anyway, I was telling you that the Pope is a Jesuit, but he's not a sissy. It's not Francis of Assisi, the really nice guy that the animals are like, perching on his shoulder and whatnot. No, that is not the Pope. He's Francis Xavier, X. It starts with an X, Xavier. And so if you saw the movie X-Men, Days of Future Past, Wolverine goes, there's a war, the whole world is fighting, and they send Wolverine back into the past to 1974. And Nixon is Tricky Dick Nixon is president, and he's rolling out this incredible weapon, and Wolverine, and actually they get Magneto to fight for them, which is really cool. And Magneto lifts the Washington Senators baseball stadium, RFK Stadium, Bobby Kennedy Stadium. Remember, it's coming up 50 years next Wednesday. He lifts up RFK Stadium and parks it around the White House, and I forget how they do it. You check out the movie, it's good. But they defeat the weapon, and they get Wolverine back into the present, and it's not a war anymore, and it's a school. And they say, dang, thanks. And they say, you know what you're going to do? And he says, I don't know, man. I've just been through hell. And he said, you're going to be a history teacher. Whoa. So I got a lot of history to teach you. It's not history for me. It's real life. So, and Edgy's going to help me. He's a dwarf. Peter Dinklage is getting all the dwarf roles now, but I've got Edgy Poe Black. I've got this is Mickey Mantle Black. All these souls are coming back, man. It's really cool. It's kind of like heaven. But anyway, let me make sure I'm pointing the right way. This is Wolfie. This is Wolfgang Amadeus. And actually, you know who we got him lined up to do? Heath Ledger. Now I'm going to explain that one next time, okay? Because that one's fun. But and I got it nailed. You just listen. Just come on back, and I'll be back. Now it's going to take me a second to turn this off because I'm not good with computers yet, but I'm working on it. Okay. Thanks for hanging in. Talk to you soon.